Welcome back, everybody. Sport Federation TV. We carry on talking about sport in the province. And, of course, as you will know, climbing is one of the big sports in South Africa, Olympic sport as well. And it was just last year in December that we saw the African Intercontinental Championships held here in Cape Town. That was, of course, at City Rock, where a number of our athletes were performing. And, in fact, it was an Olympic qualifier. So it was a really top-scale event. And back on the line with me now, Chris Naude. Chris, nice to have you back. How are things there with you guys at the moment?
Yeah, hi JP. It's great to be back again and tell everybody about the excitement around climbing at the moment. Yeah, as you mentioned, the African Championship was in City Rock at the end of last year, and 2 athletes were selected to go to the Olympics. So we have Chris Kossa from Gauteng and Aaron from KZN. And the 2 of them have been competing in America for a bit to get some training in, and they're heading to Tokyo in less than a month.
Well, that's fantastic for our athletes. I mean, especially considering that you held the event in Cape Town in the Western Cape. It goes to show that we can put on these type of events.
Oh, it was a great experience. It was tough. COVID didn't help us on that one, and planning and replanning as people were able to travel and not able to travel, particularly some of our officials that were coming from overseas.
Yeah.
But it all panned out in the end, and we got great compliments from the International Federation, who said we're ready for it. You know, we're actually a world-class setup here, you know, in South Africa. So we might be small, but quality. We're very happy about that.
So tell us a little bit. I mean, Chris, just give us a rundown in terms of the Olympic process. I mean, we have the Junior Olympics as well as the Adult Olympics, and we know that we've had some athletes from the Western Cape in the Junior Olympic structures already.
Yeah, so the Youth Olympics was in 2018 in Buenos Aires, and I was lucky enough to go along there as well and see the whole setup and learned a lot about building walls and temporary walls for these competitions and the running of the competition. We had a fantastic experience. You know, the whole atmosphere around Olympics is something to behold. The energy of a lot of athletes all at the top of their game is just amazing.
Yeah.
And we're expecting to see some really great things in the full Olympics now as well. It's the first time that climbing has been in the Youth Olympics and in the full Olympics in 2018 and now the 2020 Olympics, which is in 2021, but that's a different story. And we're really expecting some big excitement around that. And certainly we've noticed it just from a point of view of the local federation. A lot of people asking, what is this climbing all about? And, you know, the standard impression that people have these days, especially with the Dawn Wall and Alex Honnold doing free solo and things like that, these movies have made it, brought it to the public eye.
Chris, next events in Cape Town, when are we seeing the next either inter-club or provincial championships? Have you got plans plans on the cards?
Next weekend we're having the provincial championships. Unfortunately, with COVID, spectators are not invited. So I'd love to invite everybody to come and see what it's all about. But if anybody wants to come and see what climbing's all about, they're very welcome to contact us at Western Cape Climbing, and we'll arrange a session for them where we can take them through all the different aspects and what can be done and what can't be done.
We're obviously talking about it now from an organized point of view, Western Cape Climbing as a sport, but from a social perspective, there are a lot of people out there who want to do climbing socially.
Oh, probably more than take part in it as a sport, actually. In fact, definitely more than take part in it as a sport. So it's a real lifetime sport. People who start climbing continue climbing well into their 60s, 70s, some of them. So it's something you can do for the rest of your life, and it's very social. You head up the mountain with friends and go and do what you enjoy.
What do you need?
When your competitive side fades as you get older, you can still climb and have a lot of fun.
What do you need from an equipment point of view if you want to do climbing, if you want to get started? Hands.
It varies, yeah. A pair of climbing shoes and a chalk bag.
Right.
So the chalk is just to keep your hands dry and friction good, and the climbing shoes, you do need a pair of climbing shoes.
Yeah.
So it's not free, but it's relatively cheap. And then, of course, like any sport, you can keep spending money as long as you have the wallet for it.
And of course, you can climb indoors and outdoors.
Absolutely. So our competitive climbing is indoors. We do it at one of the big climbing gyms, and that is to set up a new route that nobody's ever climbed before. So for the competitions, every route is completely brand spanking new.
When you're talking about a route, maybe just give us a little bit more explanation. What is a route?
Yeah. In fact, I've used the term very generically there. So a route is typically in outdoors, it would be a cliff face that people decide to climb up, generally speaking, single pitch. So you'd have one length of rope, 70 meters of rope, and you'd just use that to keep yourself safe as you're going up that route. And the route is the handholds and comprises of the handholds and footholds that you can use or should use to go up that particular part of rock. And the same thing in a climbing gym, we have artificial handholds that are bolted onto a wall in various different configurations to create interest and various degrees of difficulty. So when you start climbing, you'll climb up a route with nice big handholds and plenty of footholds and what have you.
So let's get back to the Western Cape Championships now. It's the Western Cape Champs then this coming week, at least next week here.
Next weekend, yeah.
City Rock in Cape Town, which is of course in Pardon Island. How many athletes are you expecting there? Is it again the best of the best, or age groups, adults?
Yeah, all in all, it goes all the way from under nines to open, and open is anybody who feels they want to compete, or anybody older than the 18s who want to compete. So yeah, all in all, we've got about 50, I think, if I get the figure right, about 50 climbers, and we've split them up into 4 different groups so that we have a smaller number in the gym at any particular time. The lead climbing will be on the Saturday at City Rock, and the bouldering will be at Block 11. Actually, the competition will be at the one in the south of Joburg. So we're very, very lucky in Cape Town to have 3 world-class gyms in our vicinity. Not everybody is that lucky, but Cape Town has that ability, and we've got some really good climbers around.
And when you eventually do go to the South African Championships, how are we going to do as a Western Cape structure?
We'll win that.
We'll win it. Do we have the sense? I had Anton Butter from Tug of War on the show just before you. Do the athletes have a sense now that they are flying the flag for Western Cape, that they're wearing this badge, this Western Cape badge, and that they are the best in the province?
Oh, absolutely. We actually just recently put up an honours board where we went back to the results from 2016, which was the first time that we had proper, reliable data. And we put the Western Cape champion from each year in the different disciplines of bouldering and lead climbing, and that has proved so popular. It's been amazing. The excitement around seeing the champions from each year engraved on a board up in the gym has just actually changed the game a bit, I think. And it's been an amazing experience to see the excitement around people looking, oh, I remember so and so, and what happened to them? Why aren't they climbing anymore? And that sort of thing.
Okay, Chris, we'll leave it at that. We'll say to you, thank you very much. Of course, good luck for next week. We look forward to finding all the videos. And I'm assuming that if people want to find out more about Western Cape climbing, what you guys are up to, see your pictures and so on, that the westerncapeclimbing.co.za website is the right place to go.
That's the place. And
Thanks,
you'll get
Chris.
links there to our YouTube channels and all sorts of things there. So, yeah.
Fantastic. There we go, folks. Chris Naude, Western Cape Climbing. They've got the Western Cape Championships coming up next week. Very exciting. Go and find there. If you want to find out more about climbing, how to sign up, take a look at some of the pictures of the athletes that are doing so well, then it's pretty simple. Just go and visit their website, as you saw on the screen there, www.westerncapeclimbing.co.za. Lots of fantastic pictures, as well as links to their YouTube channel, where you can see some of the athletes in action. So, Western Cape Climbing, really climbing higher and higher. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back, we carry on talking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.